Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now this in my hands, the Silvanus hard use fixed blade from the company Work Tuff Gear, designed by Isaac Phil, who is also the designer of the Night Hunter. Now the Night Hunter is a knife that I took a look at in the past. Isaac did provide it for me for the review. I've since sent it back to him, but a really cool offering from Isaac and Work Tuff Gear. So today what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at his second blade in the Work Tuff lineup. Again, the Silvanus. I have not yet even opened this up. I mean, I've seen pictures and I've seen other people doing some preliminary videos on this, but I have not yet looked at it myself in person, in my hands, other than the fact that it's sitting here in the bubble wrap. I wanted to get a true first look and impression of this on video with you. So when we come back, we're going to get this out of the package. We're going to take a look at it in detail. I keep popping the little poppy thingies. My kids are going to love it. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Work Tuff Gear who did provide this for review. So as we get into this here, again, Isaac Phil, the designer of the Night Hunter. That blade was absolutely fantastic, but in the chopper size class, large, I would say, not extra large, but a large, oversized wilderness fixed blade, survival class knife, and in today's case, well, going down to a little bit more of a belt knife size, maybe a mid to large size camp knife. And again, I really wanted to get a first look and impression of this on camera. Now, Isaac Phil, also the owner and operator of Wheels Custom Kydex. He does some fantastic job. His blade designs are, and I'm not going to say by any means, wild or over the top, but they definitely having some cool, sexy curves to them. If you like a recurve, he does a fantastic job. That is his style. That is his jam. And again, you can see here on the Silvanus, that is absolutely the case. And so as we take a look at the knife here, you can see SK85 with a satin finish, G10 handles, black with green liners, 1/8 inch stock, with a little bit of a pot holder, so that's kind of cool, just like a little utility pot holder. You end up with a modified Scandi grind, so a Scandi grind with a secondary bevel to the top, being nice and sharp on the spine. So I'm going to clean this up, get all the factory oil off of this, and then we'll look at it in a little more detail. And so now, all cleaned up, as we get into this, I can tell you before we even start, we have a few things going for us. The first thing is, well, Work Tuff Gear. You absolutely cannot beat their overall quality, the overall craftsmanship, and just the beauty that comes with each one of their knives. What I love, and this again, just kind of feeding into what we have going for us, what I love is that Work Tuff Gear absolutely pulls off the vision of the designer. And when we talk about Isaac, this is his second blade with Work Tuff Gear, and that's an awesome thing, because with the experience that you get working with Work Tuff Gear, you start to understand what they can do. You start to understand how to translate, your design into what Work Tuff can do, but it goes the other way around too. Work Tuff Gear understanding the design philosophy and aesthetic of the designer and trying to pull it off as accurately as possible when you get the blade in your hand and when you take a look at it here with the first production run. So the Silvanus here is exactly as Isaac had dreamed it up, and in this particular case, just pulling it off nicely. So when you have a seasoned designer with a seasoned manufacturer, it all comes together nicely. The other thing we have going for us, well, I'm going to be biased because, well, black G10 or black handles with a toxic green liner, I always love it. That was my sort of first love, and when I get that in my hands, I'm like, ooh, I already like it. Just a simple design aesthetic. I love the little bit of pop, but while we're talking about the handle, that's the first thing that catches my attention. A nice quality swell through the palm area. It's not overly pronounced as we take a look down from the top, but it really indexes extremely well. It melts into your hands, and I like that it thins out the right amount right through here. So you are really getting a good, strong, and firm grip with your middle fingers here, and then your pinky resting where it needs to. And you'll notice as I grip the knife, it's very natural. It sits in very comfortably. Everything sitting right where it wants, and my thumb just going right over the top of the spine with ease. And that brings me to the next point. And what Work Tuff Gear's been doing lately, and I love it, this part of the spine right here, again, I'm going to put my thumb back over the top. That is not overly squared off. In fact, I bet you if you tried to strike a ferro rod, you would struggle to get a spark. Yet, right in front of it, where you need it, boom, nice and squared off. So what you can do is with alternate grips, turn the knife sideways, bear on the side of the blade, which this indexes very well. Having this pronounced guard area and finger choil area really does lock in, and you're going to be able to absolutely rip sparks off a ferro rod. You're going to be able to scrape on bark. You're going to be able to scrape fuzz to get, fat wood processed down so that you can start your fire with your little tinder bundle. That's going to work wonderfully. And again, this is going to be an awesome camp knife where it's the perfect size. It really is. This is the perfect size general camp knife for carving, food prep, maybe a little bit of limbing, but then you also have some fire management. You can poke around, move the fire around, cut your food, manage your food while it's over the fire, and actually you get that little notch there to help pick up a pot or something like that. Now, you can hear people already saying, oh, that's going to be a weakness in the blade. No, fear not. And in fact, Isaac himself has put this to the test to make sure that it was strong enough. So in his testing, in his prototype testing, has proven that, without any doubt, there is absolutely going to be no problem whatsoever. So coupling, the design aesthetic with the craftsmanship and manufacturing process of Work Tuff Gear, have no fear. Now, just an initial impression, no lanyard hole. So if you are somebody that requires a lanyard hole, that will be a little bit of a downfall for you. Yet at the same time, I can say I'm probably not really going to need it. I don't expect with a knife in this size I'm going to do a ton of chopping, but what I will do is general light limbing, and that shouldn't be a problem. You're going to be able to, clean up the tree to get your hammock hung, or you're going to be able to lop off the branches if you're trying to make a spear. You're going to be able to carve like crazy with this. Now, I do have to admit, I am typically not a huge fan of a recurve for a few different reasons. It's mostly my carving style, my overall just general likes. It doesn't mean that a recurve, doesn't have its place, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its advantages. It absolutely does. And every now and then, I kind of find I'm wrong with things, and I love variety. So the fact that this knife is a recurve, the fact that it's going to force me not completely out of my comfort zone, but just make me process wood a little bit different, use the knife a little bit different, try things a little bit different. It's so refreshing. So I'm glad to see that this is a recurve. I'm glad to see that it has a nice big belly. I'm glad to see that it has this modified Scandi grind, because I think this knife's going to be a lot of fun to play with and enjoy and use it in the camp scenario and just have something different. I personally wouldn't have designed this. It's not my design language. I love that. That's a bonus. I don't want to design things the same as everybody else, and I don't want everybody else to design the same as me. So having something that's completely different, beautiful, two-tone, and it's actually it's not a two-tone. You have your brushed finish in this particular direction, so that satin finished in this direction, and then on the Scandi grind, it just looks awesome. It catches the light in different angles and in different ways. The laser etching, beautifully done here. Work Tuff Gear, first production run. You can see here, this is actually May of 2023, SK85. And then on this side here, you have the wheels Custom Kydex. Minnesota, USA, the Silvanus. Absolutely awesome. What a nice knife. And so as if the fun just ended with the knife, well, no, lo and behold, you have awesome Kydex work from Work Tuff Gear. So this is a Kydex from Work Tuff Gear. Of course, as I mentioned, Wheels has their own, but this is a Work Tuff Gear Kydex. You can see here, it's kind of a hybrid where it's almost got that taco style, but it's really more of like a pancake layout. It's actually pretty nice, and I love how it was done with that ramp. So a nice pronounced ramp. You can see really deep onto the guard. This should have literally perfect retention. If it doesn't, I'll be shocked. Here you go. Boom. Zero rattle. This way, a little click, but that's not going to come out. I have absolute trust in this every way you could carry it, and I would absolutely be rocking this inverted on my shoulder on a pack strap so I can get on it with ease while I'm on the trails, pop the knife out, boom, do my little food prep, my little tasks, slide that back and in, done. Carry this on your belt with ease. You could go scout style, you could put a dangler. I have to admit, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to offer for clip options for the actual drop. They have had their first production run drop already. There are, from what I can tell, some available, and I do expect we'll see many more of these to come. So generally speaking, very nicely done. I love the package overall. Wonderful work from Isaac Thill and, of course, Work Tuff Gear. And so again, that's just a first look and impression of the Silvanus. Really, really cool. I'm pumped to have this in my hands, and there will be another video covering this in field testing. I mean, that's the beauty of having a knife. It's not about just showing it in my hands and in the studio. It's about getting it outside, processing some wood for a fire, having myself an awesome meal, and just enjoying my time outside playing with a blade. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to Isaac and to the people at Work Tuff Gear for providing this for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.